footage has come out. Ref not called. This is a foul, okay? This is a foul.
WNBA referees has been having issues. WNBA referees, this is another year and another case of WNBA referees not making...
So lads, Caitlin Clark is out, injured right now.
WNBA referees has been having issues with getting these calls right when it comes to Caitlin Clark and the field.
One of the worst missed calls I think I've ever seen in basketball.
In a controversy that refuses to fade, Caitlin Clark once again finds herself at the heart of a growing storm over WNBA officiating, as new footage emerges that clearly captures a blatant foul against her, one that was entirely ignored by the referees standing mere feet away. The play itself was ordinary in nature, Clark attempting to maneuver around a screen, only to be met with a hard body check that visibly knocked her off her path. The official, eyes locked on the action, made no motion, no whistle, not even a hesitation, just silence. But this is not an isolated moment. It is just the latest entry in a disturbing pattern that has plagued Clark's rookie season: excessive physical play directed at her, routinely overlooked by officials. The lack of consistent officiating in her games has raised eyebrows and suspicions among fans and analysts, with the silence from the league growing harder to justify. What was once dismissed as rookie initiation or hard-nosed defense now appears to be a recurring and deliberate tolerance of contact, particularly against a player who is drawing the league its highest ratings and broadest attention in years. Social media has become the unofficial court of public opinion, and fans across all platforms, from TikTok to X, formerly Twitter, YouTube to Instagram, have assumed the role of virtual referees, dissecting game footage and offering damning evidence of inconsistent officiating targeting Clark. These aren't just passing observations. Fans are creating detailed breakdowns, slow-motion analyses, and side-by-side comparisons showing the stark contrast in how Clark is treated versus other players. One viral clip shows her being held with both hands during a drive, completely ignored by the nearby referee, while another video highlights a much lighter hand check on another player being called for free throws. These digital compilations are being watched by millions, commented on by thousands, and they paint a picture of bias that can no longer be ignored. The commentary isn't casual, it's investigative. Fans are building a body of evidence that suggests the WNBA's officiating is not just inconsistent but selectively lenient when it comes to its biggest star. It's a grassroots effort that has evolved into a full-scale reckoning with how the league handles its officiating and how that inconsistency threatens the credibility of the sport itself. Adding to the growing calls for accountability is Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, who has emerged as one of the few league voices willing to confront the officiating controversy head-on. White has used her post-game press conferences not just to analyze her team's performance, but to openly criticize the treatment Clark receives on the court. Her remarks have been pointed and unambiguous. Caitlin Clark is taking more hits than most players and not receiving the protection she deserves. These comments followed particularly egregious footage, making them impossible to dismiss as generic coaching frustration. White's stance is notable not only for its timing but for its rarity in a league where coaches often hesitate to criticize referees publicly for fear of fines or disciplinary action. That White was willing to speak out so directly suggests a level of frustration that is not just personal but deeply institutional. Her words echo what players feel in the locker room and what fans see in the replays. And in an environment where silence often reigns, her voice has added a layer of credibility to claims that Clark is being singled out on the court. Despite the physical punishment, the silence from officials, and the controversy swirling around her, Caitlin Clark continues to perform in ways that transcend her stat sheet. In a recent game that reignited the debate, her numbers weren't flashy: 6 points, 8 turnovers, but the box score doesn't capture her full impact. She dished out 9 assists, recorded 3 steals, and orchestrated the Fever's offensive flow with precision. Her presence shifted the defense's focus, drew multiple double teams, and created the space necessary for teammates like Aaliyah Boston to thrive. Boston finished with a career-high 31 points, while Lexi Hull notched her first career double-double, both benefiting directly from Clark's playmaking. This ability to elevate those around her, to generate rhythm and cohesion even on off nights, is what defines Clark's value. It's why so many are outraged by the lack of protection. Because when Clark is diminished by excessive, uncalled physicality, it's not just her game that suffers. It's the chemistry, the strategy, and the momentum of an entire team. Her resilience and leadership in the face of adversity are commendable, but they also highlight how much she's being asked to shoulder without the institutional support she clearly deserves. Yet, while fans, analysts, and even coaches speak up, the league itself remains notably silent. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has made no public comment regarding the growing controversy. There has been no press conference, no social media post, no indication that league officials are even reviewing the numerous incidents being highlighted across platforms. This absence of response has only intensified the criticism. To many, the league's silence is not just a matter of public relations, it's a reflection of priorities. The same institution that has benefited immensely from Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise seems unwilling to take the most basic steps to ensure her safety and fair treatment. This disparity between the benefits the league reaps and the risks it ignores feels not just unfair, but exploitative. Fans are beginning to question whether the WNBA is genuinely committed to protecting its stars or simply capitalizing on them. The optics are damning, profit from Clark's presence, but say nothing when she's repeatedly put in harm's way. This imbalance sends a dangerous message not just to Clark, but to all players in the league, and especially to those watching from the outside who might once have considered following in her footsteps. The numbers speak for themselves and paint a clear picture of just how transformative Clark's presence has been for the WNBA. Games featuring the Indiana Fever are breaking viewership records. One matchup peaked at 2.2 million live viewers and averaged 1.7 million, the third most watched regular season WNBA game in history. ESPN reports a 14% spike in WNBA coverage. ABC viewership is up 76%. These aren't anomalies, they are measurable trends that directly correlate to Caitlin Clark's arrival in the league. She's not only a star player but a business engine, drawing in new fans, new sponsors, and new media attention. Every network, every advertiser, every broadcast partner is benefiting, but these benefits are juxtaposed against a disturbing reality. Clark is playing under conditions that, if left unaddressed, could lead to injury, burnout, or both. The league's apparent unwillingness to acknowledge this risk threatens the very success Clark has helped build. It's a textbook case of biting the hand that feeds you, and it puts the WNBA in a precarious position, not just morally, but strategically. Protecting your biggest asset isn't just the right thing to do. It's smart business. The fact that this hasn't happened yet is both shocking and disappointing. Within the league, Clark has earned the respect of her peers, some of whom have gone out of their way to show it in moments where officials would not. Sophie Cunningham of the Phoenix Mercury has been one of the few to visibly defend Clark during games, stepping in when things get too physical. Erica Wheeler, now with the Seattle Storm and a former teammate of Clark's in Indiana, was seen checking on her after a particularly hard foul. These moments of camaraderie aren't just about sportsmanship, they're silent acknowledgments of an injustice. They show that even opponents can see what's happening and feel compelled to intervene in the absence of official action. This peer-based protection, while commendable, also underscores a larger problem. Players are being forced to fill a void left by the very institution that is supposed to protect them. This is not how professional sports are supposed to function. The rules exist for a reason. The referees are there for a reason. And when they fail to act, they not only fail the individual player, they fail the entire game. The issue here runs deeper than one player or even one season. It's about the culture of the league and the message it sends to current and future generations of athletes. Caitlin Clark is more than a standout rookie. She represents a shift, a movement, a moment in women's sports that could propel the WNBA into the mainstream. But that movement is fragile. And every time Clark is hit without a whistle, every time she's ignored by the officials and left unsupported by the league, it chips away at that progress. It tells other players, especially young girls watching from home, that even if you're the best, even if you're bringing in the most fans, you might still be treated like you don't matter. That message is not only disheartening, it's dangerous. Culture is not built on talent alone. It's built on values. And if the WNBA wants to grow, if it wants to thrive in the long term, it needs to stand behind its stars, not just celebrate them when the cameras are rolling. The historical weight of this moment cannot be overstated. Clark is not just excelling, she's altering the trajectory of an entire league. But history isn't written just by what happens on the court. It's written by how the institutions surrounding those events respond. The WNBA now finds itself at a crossroads. crossroads. It can choose to continue profiting off Clark's stardom while ignoring her vulnerability, or it can step up and make a statement that will define its future, that no player is above the rules, but also that no player is beneath protection. This is a defining moment, not just for Clark, but for the WNBA's identity. Will it be a league that supports its athletes in word only, or in action as well? The decision will have long-lasting consequences, not just in headlines and ratings, but in the trust it builds or loses among its players and fans. Ultimately, this story is about more than basketball. It's about equity, responsibility, and the role of leadership in shaping the future. Caitlin Clark has done her part. She's shown up, performed, inspired, and elevated the league in ways that no rookie has before. Now it's time for the WNBA to meet her halfway. That means more than tweets and tributes. It means accountability for officials. It means transparent reviews of controversial plays. It means a public stance from Commissioner Engelbert and a commitment to uphold the values the league claims to stand for. Because if the WNBA fails to act now, it risks losing more than just a player. It risks losing the faith of the very people who could carry it into the next generation. The choice is clear. The time is now. Blow the whistle.